Hello and welcome to Community Connections. I'm Kevin, Communications Specialist with the North Little Rock Public Library, and I'm joined by Stephen Morris. He's with River City Ministries. And one of the things we want to do here on Community Connections is bring out things that are happening in our city that you may not be aware of. We had a chance to interact with River City Ministries at the Unsheltered event that we did. I guess it was about 2 months ago now, month or so, whatever, it doesn't matter. We found out another source that might be very beneficial to you. Stephen, thank you so much for being here. Explain, if you would, River City Ministries. What is your purpose? What is your goal, and what do you do?
Oh, thank you. So River City Ministries has been around for about 35 years, and it just began as a way to reach back into the inner city and try to provide some services for people who are in need. We started by just in the beginning offering a meal and a devotional time. And the way that the ministry has grown has just been from the people who come there to provide services, sharing with us that they have skill sets. So we've started with a meal, and then we had doctors come who offered their services. Now we have a medical and a pharmaceutical clinic because of those volunteers. We have a dental clinic now because of dentists coming who started serving food and then said, if you ever have an opportunity, we'd love a chance to use our skills here. And so over those 35 years, it's grown into a full social services organization, so that now we offer a breakfast and lunch every weekday. We have food pantry twice a week. We have once a week a medical and pharmaceutical clinic. Twice a week we do a dental clinic. We have just started a transitional housing program. We have 6 houses where we try to house people who are working their way towards permanent housing of their own, but may have bad rental records or backed up utility bills that would keep them from being able to do that on their own without assistance. And we try to help them learn skills that will make them a good renter and a good tenant for the future.
What do you find in this are some of the biggest misconceptions you run across when you talk about people that need help? What are some of the things that you hear that are out there that really are not necessarily true?
Well, people are not monolithic. We all are unique and have our own baggage that we're carrying with us and have our own specific needs. So a lot of blanket statements are made that, people are in the situations that they're in because they don't want help. And a lot of times that's not the case. We see a lot of people who are trying their best to make ends meet and can't get the hours that they need at their job to be able to make enough money to just be able to provide for all of their needs. They may be coming to us because they don't have enough food in their household, but are doing what, we would all say are the right things. Right. Just all the pieces haven't come together for them yet. So a lot of times we see people who are putting a lot of effort into obtaining the kind of life that they want, but they're just facing some very difficult challenges.
So you quite often run into people that are really hardworking folks.
We do.
But they just, because of wages or because of the situation, whatever, they can't quite get over the hump, and they need a little push and a little boost to try to get there.
That's right.
Okay, just checking on that. We're with Stephen Morris. He's with River City Ministries, and this is Community Connections. During the holiday season, and this is a time when people really do try to give more, which is great, You hope it happens 12 months out of the year, but, we'll take what we can get there. But what are your most important or most pressing needs you have?
Oh, thank you. So one of the things we always have a need for this time of year is, of course, warm clothing. Coats, hats, gloves, things like that are a big need for us. We have people come and ask for socks every day, blankets, things like that. Just to kind of keep people warm during these really cold times. And food is a constant need that we have. So sometimes when people will do a can drive or something like that, those are always things we can give away at our food pantry. We also have a great relationship with some community partners, like Potluck right down the road that does food rescue. Right. They bring us food. And through the food bank, a lot of times we can purchase food at such a reduced cost that just a few dollars donation ends up being able to provide us with hundreds of pounds of food.
Certainly. Stephen, want to hit on something here that I think is missed quite often when we talk about helping other people that are in need,
Yes.
specifically the elderly. You have a lot of
Yes.
people in the community, in every community. They may have retired, but they're still being responsible for taking care of maybe an adult child that has an issue,
Yes.
and or maybe grandchildren because the adults have another issue, but it's
Sure.
fallen upon them. And nobody wants the kids to be hungry. Nobody wants
Right.
grandma to be hungry
Right.
either. So how does what you do fit in to help fill that gap?
We actually see a lot of people who will come to our food pantry. And one of the first things that we ask is how many people are in your household. And we'll get a lot of elderly women who will say, well, I have my grandkids with me. Or during the summer, they're watching the grandkids. And like you said, a lot who they may be the only caretaker that those
Valid
children
point.
have.
Caretaker and or the mom or dad is out working and
Yes.
doesn't have the money to afford daycare.
Absolutely.
And then grandma doesn't have the money to buy her medicine
That's
because she's
right.
trying to take care of the grandkids.
Absolutely.
It's a very common thing.
It is. And a large percentage of the people that we see are senior citizens. You'd be surprised by how many senior citizens are actually on the streets, and what a terrible position that puts them in.
Yeah.
But we are happy to see them and provide the services that we can. We actually have a nurse that volunteers with us in our Tuesday medical clinics. That is her focus. That she just works with senior citizens.
Give me an example of a success story that you've had at River City Ministries.
So we have a couple of employees who in the past came to us for assistance, employees and volunteers who, they came because they needed a meal or because they needed housing. Our medical coordinator now is a wonderful go-between for us between our doctors who volunteer with us and the population that we serve. She is much more in touch with the needs of our community and knows a way. I think we've all probably sat in the doctor's office before and left that meeting going, I have no idea what they just said to me.
Why doing what now? Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And so she's a great translator for all of that. And, we've been blessed over the last several years to have many people who didn't have health insurance before now have it, but not know exactly what you do when you have that. It's a difficult field to navigate if you haven't done it before. And so she now serves in the role of helping people get connected with doctors and with specialists, getting into a routine of care who've never had that opportunity before. And so we always look at her as a fantastic success story. She has just, had a lot of initiative, a lot of drive to help other people. We have another lady right now who she has terminal cancer, and she came to us when she was in need. But none of those things have stopped her now that she's on her own feet from coming twice a week and working at our front desk, helping other people get the services that she wants.
That's got to be extremely inspiring when you see something like that, too. Yeah. Hey, this is Community Connections. I'm Kevin. I'm a communications specialist with the North Little Rock Public Library. This is Stephen Morris. He's with me here talking about what they do at River City Ministries, and we appreciate you watching. I'm curious, too, Stephen, do you work as an individual organization, or do you reach out and touch base with other organizations that help people in the community? Is it inclusive that everybody, or are we all competing, I guess? We all have the same goal, right?
Right. Sometimes it can feel like that, but we're fortunate in the city of North Little Rock and Little Rock that there is a group, a sort of continuum of care that are organizations that are trying their best to work together. No one of us can do everything. Right. And so the van is a great partner that does street outreach when that's something that we're only able to do a couple times a month. That's something that they're doing every day.
Right.
We have partners like Our House in Jericho Way who are providing rental assistance. And that's not something we're doing right now. Right now, we're doing transitional housing instead. And so we're really blessed to have a bunch of places in our area that are helping the homeless, but do it in a little different way. And so all of us together are able to make a bigger impact. No one has to just say, we don't do that. We can say, here's a partner down the road that does that. That's their specialty.
Yeah. Well, it's always working together is always the most positive if you can do that. Curious too, now I've got to touch on this. What about the situation involving addiction, whether it be drugs or alcohol?
Sure.
Do you guys have any assistance with that?
We actually are starting to develop some relationships with some new rehabilitation facilities in our area that are providing free services for that. And because that's a new relationship, I don't have the names of all of them right now. We have a social worker who is on staff. And so she's kind of our first line of defense when it comes to when people come to our doors and say, I'm struggling with this. But we are building kind of a toolbox or an arsenal of all of these community partners that we can refer people to for either inpatient or outpatient care that will be longer term.
I can't fix this, but I know who can.
Exactly.
I like that idea.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Let's touch on this again too. If somebody is watching this and they or somebody they know may need help, let's get them in contact with you. What do they need to do?
They need to give us a phone call. That's probably the easiest way. Or some people don't have access to a phone.
True.
And coming to our door is another easy way for people to get help.
And where is your door?
That's a great question. It's 1021 East Washington Avenue. If people are familiar with where the arena is,
yes,
Washington runs along the back side of the arena.
Okay.
If you keep going down Washington towards Rose City, we are just past Brother Paul's Friendly Chapel, and on a corner where the Clinton Bridge, the walking bridge, is. Where that intersects with Riverfront, you can see our building from right there. And that's probably the easiest way for people who are on foot. And if you're driving, you can take Hickory. We're on the corner of Hickory in East Washington.
Sounds good. And again, for the holidays, your most pressing needs, and if somebody has the means and would like to assist what you do, what do they need to do?
Okay. If they would like to donate things like clothing or food, they can either give us a call or bring it to our front door, and we could take it from there. If someone wants to give financially, they can go to our website, rivercityministry.org, and there's a donate tab, and there's listed there several different ways that people can give. Or if people would like to get involved in a personal way, if they would like to help serve the food or come down and give some volunteer hours, again, giving us a call or coming to our door, we would love to have an opportunity to work with people that way.
It's just fun to find out more about this, because I know you said you've been in doing your thing for 35 years, but it was something that was new to me to find out about this, and probably new to a lot of other people too. So I'm aware that I want to make people aware of what you're doing.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming in.
Absolutely.
Hey, this has been Community Connections, and thank you so much for joining us today. You can check out our website at nlrlibrary.org. You can follow us along on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, or whatever social media thing they decide they're going to create next. You'll find great library content there, and we'll see you next time. And thank you so much for watching Community Connections.